Let's just wait for a few more minutes for other participants to join as well. Everyone, please turn on your cameras and then we'll just start in 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, you can check your cameras and mic. Hi, Ira. How are you? We're just going to start in a
Hello.
few minutes.
Yeah, it's fine. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. How are you doing? It's so great to see you here.
Yeah, it's good to see you here again as well. I'm really excited for the session. I joined again Mindworks International as the program intern.
Oh wow, that's such a full circle moment from you being the participant. And I mean for me as well. Hello, Musfira. Musfira and I were chatting 3 a.m. in the morning. We both have horrible sleep schedules. So Harima, are you in university or are you in college, like high school?
No, I just got done with my college, so just preparing for the entrance exams right now.
Good luck for the most dreadful season known to humankind.
Yeah, that's definitely the most stressful era of your whole life. Everyone, please start turning on your cameras. We're just going to start. Ira, I think you can, I can start and then you can, after that, you can take over. So,
Okay.
hello everyone. Let's please turn on your cameras, everyone. Good. I'm Harima. I'm the program intern at Mindworks International, and today we have Sayyida Ira Fatma as our speaker for the today's session, fourth session of the Gen AI Fellowship. And Ira was also the local round winner of the Global Teens in AI Tech-a-thon conducted with Mindworks International. And now she will be talking about how to convert your ideas into prototypes. So you all might have ideas by now for your product or for the project that you have to build for this program. And now here you can learn how you can convert it into prototypes. So over to Ira now.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you all are doing great. It would be nice if you all could introduce yourselves, because I would really like to know what you guys are studying and what are your ages. So let's start with Mudassir.
I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing great as well.
I am, yeah, I am Mudassir, 17 years old. I'm currently doing my O levels from World Academy School. I am in last year of my O levels, and I am looking forward to do bachelor's in computer science and A levels in Major CS.
And you have like a coding experience as of yet?
No, I haven't any coding experience yet, but I am building my skills in artificial intelligence. I have learned AI agents, automation, AI master. I'm actually an AI automation expert. I know how to build AI agents like AI chatbot, AI voice calling agents, AI automations, and I am running my own agency in USA. I help businesses to automate their systems and make their work, which takes long time, and make their work in short time and save their time and amount and money.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great to hear.
Yes.
You're doing so much at such a young age. Let's move
Yes.
on to Fatma Vakas.
Um, Hi, I'm Fatma. I am an A-level student. I've joined Mindworks International as an intern project lead this year.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
really looking forward to working with all of you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, like who is the youngest person here? I just want to know who is the youngest here.
I'm 17.
You're the youngest here.
And all this.
Oh wow, that's great. Because when I participated in Teens in AI, we had I was like one of the oldest. I was 18 at the time, and we had people from 13 till 19.
Okay.
So the youngest person was 13 years old. So
That's
as
good.
of my experience, guys, I am I am a non-tech person, and when I heard about the Teens in AI Hackathon, I was so excited. So I was like, okay, someone saying that they're also 17. Um, but I had no experience whatsoever. But all I wanted, because I have a background in healthcare, all I wanted to know was I wanted to learn how I could, build solutions um, within my field and incorporate tech into it. This was just something that I did for fun. And now apparently I'm a speaker, a recurring speaker at Mindworks International. So like anyone here who does not have a coding background, my session today is more inclined towards them. So, people who do not have a coding experience, could you please raise their hands? So, like all of the people have a code. Okay, okay. Someone did a thumbs up. We have a very interesting name. Musfra told me that we had people from Nigeria here as well. So I guess you're from Nigeria. I'm guessing from the name. Okay, so the session is I have experience of vibe coding. Wow, that's great. So I am going. Are you guys participating in the Teens in AI Hackathon after this? Okay. So I'm going to be sharing my experience how I built my prototype. It was built on Figma. So as you guys can see, it was like no coding experience at all. But I'm also going to share how you can stand out in pitches and like specifically these product competitions and what the judges are basically looking for. So let's go over to my presentation. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you build a prototype with no coding experience. So would anyone tell me what a prototype even is? We're just throwing the word around a lot. So what is a prototype?
A sample of a product like in mobile phone where your product is visible with dashboard and everything.
Yes, you're right. Anyone like other than Mudassir who could answer? Like I'm only talking to him. There are so many people here. If anyone else could unmute their mic and let me know. Abdullah Sagar, okay. An early version of information. Yes, you're right. So it's basically a preliminary version of a product. And why do you even need a prototype? Could anyone answer that for me? Like, why don't you just go and build the actual thing? Mudassir, no, you're not going to answer the question. Someone else is going to answer the question now. Let's see. Perhaps Abdullah Sagar, you could answer. There can be problems to look. Okay, so the reason you build a prototype is because, oh, I'm not actually presenting, I just saw. Okay, is because building a prototype is a very long process. It involves a lot of stakeholders. There's a lot of people involved. If you're like actually building something that you want to scale and want actual people to use, it requires a lot of time and money investment. And in the early days, you don't even know if what you're building is what people actually want. Like there are so many startups that fail because they build something that people don't really want at all. So this is the entire reason why you build your prototype, because you don't want to waste your resources. And I'm going to give a very, again guys, because I study nutrition, so I have a food background, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of food examples here. So when I came up with this flavor, I don't know how many guys remember it, but it was called honey, I think honey and salt or whatever. If anyone remembers it. I can only see Mudassir on my screen. Mudassir, do you remember the honey flavored chips that Lay's once
No.
launched?
No, I don't.
Oh, you guys don't. Maybe I'm too old. But so they launched this flavor and they were so excited about it. They were marketing everywhere. And the product was a fail because it didn't suit to our Pakistani taste buds. So this is the reason why prototyping matters. You don't want to build something, you don't want to invest too much into a product, and then you go market it and people are like, oh, I don't even need your product. So how do you build a prototype if you have no coding experience? The good thing about it is that it's more of a design thing. So you can use Figma, Marvel, Sketches, or all design tools. But if you want to do something which is more like inclined towards usage of AI, then you can use this AI ecosystem, which consists of Figma, Claude, Codex, and Google Stitch. So there are so many AI products in the market, AI agents in the market right now, and you don't know which ones would be the best to use, especially if you're at an early stage of building a prototype. Anything.com is not something that I've ever used, but I've heard about it. So like, I don't know why, for some reason, I can only see Mudassir on the screen. So Mudassir, do you know about anything.com? Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, and guys, if anyone else wants to participate, please unmute your mics and do so. It would help the session be more interactive. But so these four AI agents are the ones that you need to use. You can use them together. And I'm going to explain towards the end of the presentation how you can actually like practically use them all together. But the thing is that a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to ask this question towards the end when I'm going to be explaining this in more detail. But for now, I'm going to be breaking down the prototyping process for someone who does not know how to do anything in simple 5 steps. First of all, you need to define your goals. And I'm sure that Miss Noor would have gone over this part as well. But this is so important. And I'm also going to explain in the later slides why it is so important. But the thing is, you have to brainstorm what features your prototype actually wants to have in it. So you have defined your problem, good, everything. But now you have to think about what is the AI logic that you're going to implement, what are the AI ethics, in how many languages your app is going to be available to the users, and what are the competitors. These are all the things that you have to think in advance. And again, AI ethics is like such a big topic in and of itself. So it would be not possible for me to go entirely in depth with it. But these are things that you have to think beforehand before you actually build something using the tools that I've explained earlier. And Musfira, could you tell me if the participants have seen any prototype before of the Teens in Air participants?
Yeah, not yet, but like we do have plan to show them.
Okay. So so I actually built an AI-powered menstrual tracking guide for visually impaired women. So that is something very niche because I was combining two different things. So there is one thing which is menstrual tracking, and then there is one thing which is like it is specifically designed for visually impaired people. So you have to see how many competitors your product can have from every angle possible. So there are so many tracking apps. I don't even think like I have to go into detail over it, but I think this is something that a lot of people overlook. They don't go into the depth of their target audience. And when I was searching about the topic, I got to know, I was like learning about how people in the modern era who have like visual impairments, they deal with the day-to-day lives. And I saw this app, it's called Be My Eyes. And I just downloaded it in my phone, and I saw how their interface was, and it was just so helpful because I combined two different designs into one, and that became an innovative product. So an important thing to note is that you cannot come up with something which is completely out of the box, because mostly everything in the world has already been solved. But what you can do is you can see different patterns and then combine them in creative ways to build something that stands apart. Okay. So next, you have to sketch your ideas. Again, because I thought that we would have like 13-year-olds here as well, but even now, I think that the best creative, the most creative a person can be is on paper. So if you have to design your app on paper, or if you want to do something more digitally, Canva is, for me, I always say like Canva is like the younger sibling of Figma. So you can either design it digitally on Canva, and it's just a quick first draft. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just to get something out there. And then the third thing is creating a wireframe. Does anyone here know what a wireframe is? All right. So a wireframe is basically the blueprint, you can say, or the map of the app that you're creating. So all of us use Instagram, right? So whenever you go to Instagram, you know that whenever you open it, you'll see the DMs on the top right corner, and in the bottom section you'll be seeing the search bar. All those different things. It's basically mapping out the locations of the elements that you want in your app. So you just have to it's static. I'm going to also explain what the difference is between a wireframe and a prototype. But a wireframe is a static version of a prototype. It's just individual screens that you have created of your prototype. And I'm going to show it to you guys so it would become more clear as we move forward. Okay. This is also the time that you have to start thinking about your color scheme. So as I mentioned, that a wireframe is basically a static, a window. You build your wireframes window-wise. Like this is going to be the first window, and then that's going to be the next page, that the user is going to go to. So this is also the time that you have to finalize your color scheme. So as I mentioned that my product was built for visually impaired people. And again, circling back to the point that I explained earlier, it's so important to understand your target audience and research them. I'm also going to share in the wanted to know how a blind or a visually impaired person lives on a day-to-day basis. You have to be obsessed with people, and I know that this is like a blind individuals. This is such a rare market, and you cannot find such people easily. But what you can do is you can the online world is flooded with people sharing their experiences, so you can go over there and you can read research papers. That's something what I did, and I also be explaining that later on. But what I found was that blindness is a spectrum. There are some people who are colorblind, then there are some people who are 75% blind, there are some people who are 100% blind. But the majority of the people who are termed as visually impaired or blind are not 100% blind, so they do have some visual capacity. But it really depends on the colors in their environments that can determine whether a person is able to perceive a specific thing or not. So content accessibility ratio, and if you Google it, it will take you towards a website where you can check whether the color scheme that you're going for is actually accessible and inclusive of people of all types and backgrounds as well. So there is this 60-30-10 rule, which is also demonstrated in the picture here, which says that 60% of your app should be of one color, and then 30% of the app would consist of the secondary color, and then only 10% of the remaining colors should be used to accentuate the already app that you've built. And I don't know, I'll see if I can show you guys right now. Wait a second. Okay. So if I go over to Google and I search yes, so you guys can actually see it over here, and this is the W3C website, and you can go over here, and let's say you are thinking of making your website yellow and black. So you can just select the color somewhere here. Oh, I think I would have to log into it. But basically, if you make an account over here and you search up colors, it's going to tell you whether the color scheme you're going for is accessible to people or not. Just a quick check-in, guys. My screen is not showing. Harima, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can see your screen.
And just a quick check-in. I just want to know, guys, are you guys completely lost, or are you guys getting what I'm going over? Just give me a heads up if I'm going right, or if you guys need me to explain or go over something again. All right. Now, let's go over to our fifth and final step of creating a prototype, which is build a prototype. So wireframe, as I said, it is static. It does not flow like an actual app does. And you can actually do that on Figma. I'll also try to go over that in this session. But you can also see that, it would be impossible for me to explain everything that you can do on Figma during this session. But if you guys just watch quick YouTube video, you will get the interface really quickly because it's very, very user and beginner friendly. But so you connect the wireframes together, and that's what gives you an interactive mock app. That's basically the end of building your prototype. You just have to think of what the user experience is going to be like. So, for example, when an architect builds a house, he thinks of, okay, this is the doorway to the lounge, and then this is the doorway to the kitchen, and then the kitchen is going to lead to the courtyard. Just an example. So you have to think of the tabs that are going to open for the user as they navigate through your app. And this is sort of what it looks like on Figma as well when you're building a prototype. So every individual screen that you're seeing here, all of them are wireframes. But when you connect them together, that's what actually is. And again, I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys what we built. Actually, we built 2 prototypes. This was the first one, but it was very, very small target audience. You do not need for a visually impaired person. You have for a visually impaired person, compare it to, let's say you're building an app for school students. You're building an app for preschool students. You want it to be colorful. You want it to be full of animations, because that's what's going to entice them. Guys are going to take one thing away from not done properly, then there is no point. All right. So, okay, guys. How many of you guys here like to read books? Or who is a writer over here? Because I love to read books, and I would really want to know how many readers do we have here. I don't know, guys. Send me a heart emoji if you are a reader. Yeah, we have like one reader here. I actually, okay, no, we have quite a few readers over here. Oh, wow. Someone's writing a research paper on global warming. That's amazing. Very, very famous writer. His name is Stephen King. And what he says is that whenever he writes a book, he has his ideal reader in mind. He thinks of what his ideal reader would like to read, how he should plot his story, how he should build his characters, and all of that stuff. So this is the stuff, like what most writers do is that they write the book first, and then they think about who to market. But this is how you have to reverse engineer the process. You have to think of what your ideal reader, and even in his book he talks about the same thing, that you have to be so obsessed with your reader that you have to think of, how does your ideal reader live, which country they belong to, how many people would they have in their family, like everything. And that's the exact same thing, the analogy that you can apply to building a prototype. Um, and then the fifth, final, and the most important, testing and iteration. I think that's called like beta testing, and you improve and you do that over and over again until you have a product that people would be willing to pay for, ideally. So again, I just want to share a little bit from my experience. I had a girl in my team, and she belonged to Gilgit. I think she belonged to Gilgit or like somewhere in the north. And she actually managed to find a visually impaired girl. And what she did was that she went over to her, she asked her a ton of questions. What are the things that she misses out on because of her blindness, and specifically related to the topic that we chose. And, just make a long list of questions, ask them, show them the thing, just be really obsessive with your audience. Even if they think that you're a maniac, it's okay, because it's going to help you win competitions, probably. And then coming back over to the toolbox, as I said, that I wanted to go over Figma, Claude, Codex, and Google Stitch. Now I have a question. Why don't we just stick with one of these? Why don't, because well, in the prototype that I showed you, it was entirely built on Figma. But even in just a span of a year, I think things have changed so much, so rapidly. Because I think, like, just when I participated, no one was talking about Claude, and now everyone's talking about Claude. But my question is, why can I not just stick to Figma, or why can I not just stick to Claude? Perhaps you could type it in the chat. Perhaps you could unmute your mic.
Guys, please do turn on your cameras and interact with the speaker. Make the most of this session today.
To use each tool to the best of their, okay. Yes, you're kind of close. But the reason you don't entirely go towards, yes. So, and especially we are now living in the world of credits. So you have to be, especially if you're using Claude, you have to be really mindful. You cannot be building something and then waiting for 6 hours if you're using the unpaid version, or like even if you're using the paid version, the tokens get used up so rapidly. So you have to be strategic with it. Google Stitch, it's almost like you can use Google Stitch and Codex for the very, very early part of your design. The thing with Codex is that it gives very, very low quality prototypes. It builds good stuff, but it's not to the level that you could like present to a jury or a panel. So it's okay if you use it for the early ideation phase, and then you can iterate through Codex. You can do that again and again until you're somewhat get a satisfactory result, and then you can upload that same to Claude. And we all know that Claude is the most hyped up AI agent that we can hear of right now these days. So then you can iterate over on Claude. And then finally, Figma. I love Figma so much, as I also mentioned earlier, that I built it completely on this one tool. But this is a more, you can say, a sophisticated manner of making it. So obviously, guys, you have to be better than we were. So in Figma, you can manually make changes, but this all of this workflow saves you a lot of time as compared to if you were building everything from scratch from Figma, and especially if you don't have a coding background. And all right, so I just covered all of this in the previous slide. Oh yes, and like if there's anyone who is good at code, you can also push and pull into can I go? Yes. So you can actually also connect Codex with Figma to deploy code over there if that's something that you'd be interested in. So it just makes everything so much faster and easier. And okay, so this is how you can build if you are a total noob. You don't know what to do, and you don't want to get into the complexities of using an entire workflow which goes over Claude, Codex, Figma, and all these different apps. You don't want to be juggling all of that. Then this is the simplest thing that I could come up with, because now Figma has an AI called Figma Make, and you can basically build everything over there, and it doesn't even cost that much. I think in Pakistani rupees, it was hardly like 1,000 rupees for a very good amount of tokens. So I'm actually gonna also show you a little example that I built for you guys over there. But I'm just gonna go over the theory first. So the step one is planning. And these slides right here, these are like actual prompts that you can copy into Figma. Because there is a specific structure that you have to follow. And I also mentioned it that if you're confused, you best believe your AI agent is too. So you have to be present your prompt in a very structural manner so that Figma also knows what to build. So you have to define your app type, purpose, again, as I said, you can literally just copy it according to the app that you're building. And then you create detailed breakdowns for each page. So like you're building every wireframe individually. Perhaps you could make one giant prompt and upload it directly into Figma for each wireframe, as I explained, that you're building for your product. So a page or a wireframe, you're going to explain, okay, what this page is going to be about. So for example, when you open first time is the login page. So you're going to write it down, oh, this is going to be a login page. The purpose is to get the user information, what are the key components and interact in the email. It's going to have a bar for a password, and in case the user forgets about their password, what are they going to do then? So you have to really map out your wireframe as much with as much detail as possible. And then the step 3 is the fun stuff. You have to decide the color palettes and the typography, what font sizes, weight, what is. Actually, I'm just gonna the color schemes or the fonts. What's the single criteria that tells you that that the colors that you have chosen or the fonts that you have chosen are actually that would suit your app? Whoever's gonna answer this, uh, you guys, I'm back. I don't know where. When did I leave the meeting? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Just wait a second. I'm gonna switch up my network because I think it is not working. Am I not?
Are you asking something?
I cannot hear you. I don't know if it's so I'm in Lahore and we have a lot of a very heavy rain going on, so I guess that's the reason why we're having some connectivity issues. But Harima, if you said something, okay, it's better now. Okay, so I asked a question, and I guess Zonish, I think you replied to that question, yes. But my answer to the question was that it again really just depends on your target audience. So again, the same criteria that I talked about. Wait a second. Okay. So you decide the color palettes, the typography, keeping your ideal user in mind. If you're building for kids, it's going to be colorful. The font types and size is going to be larger. So again, it just really depends on the people who you're targeting. And then step 4, I'm talking about how to make the easiest prototype ever on Figma Make. You basically combine all the previous, like I shared 3 prompts before this, and if you just combine them all together into one giant prompt, you can upload that there in Figma and just attach the best practices prompt, which again, you can just copy paste this entire thing. It's going to make sure that if you decide to go on a larger scale with the product that you've built, it's going to make it more accessible for you afterwards. So yeah, just make sure that you search up what the best practices are, make a prompt, ask ChatGPT, and you learn about it, and then just combine all those prompts together, and it's going to build everything for you.
Are you sharing your screen?
You guys can't. Oh my god, I'm actually. Wait. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Also, Ira, if it's possible for you, can you please minimize that Zoom window?
Can you guys see?
Yeah, it's better now. It's
Okay.
gone. Thank you.
Okay. So again, we're just building the minimum viable product. The very it's the very early stage product that you build. Let's call an MVP. It's not the final product. So even if it's simple, it's okay, and it should preferably be simple. Because if you make it complicated, you're just gonna like make things more complicated for you. And that's how everything was once built. Like Instagram was built for one purpose, and then they started adding on features. Like in the early days of YouTube, it was just made for sharing videos with people, and then they monetized it. They thought of, oh, like, okay, we can have ads over here, and then they came up with YouTube Shorts. So anything that you build, it should preferably be very specific, and it should be targeted towards solving one problem instead of 10 problems in a same field at once. So yes, again, this is something that I wanted to go over once again, which is that what actually matters is the problem that you choose to solve. Because I don't know how many of you guys have participated in techathons or hackathons before, but now the thing that really matters is your ability to recognize patterns and come up with solutions that actually mean something. Like there are so many people, if you think about it, there's so many people who are coming up with fitness apps, who are coming up with mental health apps. Like nothing about that is innovative. So you have to really think about those problems which are actually worth solving and which have not been solved by 10,000 people before you. And so you can use 2 different techniques to filter out to know if whether the problem that you're solving is actually something that you would be investing your time on, or whether you should pivot. So the first thing is the problem filter. Is the product that you're solving, the problem that you're solving, is it actually a real case, or is it something completely hypothetical, or something that you think that people struggle with? And then is it something which is specific? Again, as I said, you do not want to be solving 10 problems all at once. It's better to solve one problem and then scale from there. And then is it sizable? Like how many people are you impacting with the problem that you're solving? And is it relevant to you? And is it feasible? So I'm going to go over this with a very unhinged example. So someone said that they're writing a paper on climate change. Could you please unmute your mic? I don't know who was the one who said that.
I said that.
All right. So what is your research paper about?
It's
What are you
about
actually?
Yeah. Its main topic is climate change, and the issue which I discovered in climate change is mostly also global warming. My question is that is global warming affecting humans' health? And I'm doing research on it, and I have almost completed my research paper.
Okay, that's great. So I actually had a climate example to share. So how many of you guys knew that global warming is affecting cactus in deserts all around the world, especially the Arizona desert. The cactuses are not growing. How many of you guys knew about that? If you guys did not know about that, give me a thumbs down. React with a thumbs down if you guys did not know about it. Someone is giving me a thumbs up. I said thumbs down, but I get the sentiment. So this is a very niche problem that the cacti, yes, the cacti are not. Okay, I just wanted to check if my connection is working fine. But this is a very, very niche problem. The cactus are not growing in the Arizona deserts. Oh, wow, that's such a big problem. But it is specific, okay? It is specific. And it is also real. It is sizable too, because I mean, there are so many deserts in the whole entire world. But is it really relevant to you? Like, who actually cares? Like, I know in the grander scheme of things, you can somehow make a connection between climate change, and you can think of an AI tool that helps you grow more cactus and prevent them from dying, and gives you a whole schedule of how to take care of a cactus in such extreme weathers. But it is not feasible. It is not relevant, and generally, like, no one really cares about it. So you don't have, and there are people who actually choose problems like these, and sometimes it's just if you are especially participating in a competition and you're like, oh, I'm gonna solve like the cactus. I'm just going over this example again and again, but solve a problem that actually lights a fire in you. That's something perhaps you actually witnessed in your day-to-day life. So for example, I have a friend, and he is building he is actually like a CS grad, so he knows what he is doing, but he is building um, an AI powered search engine which helps you filter discounts. So, like, whenever you go over to the internet and you're trying to find the best discounts and deals, but you cannot find it, and you just spend way too much of your time searching up where you can find the best discounts and deals. But he is building a product where you don't have to do the manual searching. You just type in your product, and the AI is going to give you the cheapest version of the thing that you're looking for in one place. So this was something that he actually struggled with. So the best thing that you can do is struggle with something. Look at what frustrates you in your day-to-day life, and then think of how you can solve it. Because again, if I talk about my friend, he is working with zero funding. He has no money at all, and I think it's been 6 months, and he is working on it every single day because he cares about the product so much. So you have to pick something that you actually care about, and that would actually create real impact. And then the second technique that you can use is the why technique. So this is where you have a symptom, and then you ask yourself a series of questions. Why, and that's how you come over to the root problem. That's actually also quite similar, because as I mentioned, I have a healthcare background. That's actually very similar to how you diagnose people. But if there is someone bold here in the meeting who would like to unmute and do this exercise with me. Someone said it is relevant because Pakistan has deserts as well. Everyone is empathetic for their own country. Well, it is true, but it is not very feasible. First of all, it's going to take a lot of funds, and it involves change on a policy level. So again, as I mentioned about my friend who is making this AI powered search engine, it does not require you to go through all these different steps. It's something that can be implemented quite quickly. But I mean, as I said, that it's not something that impacts people on a larger scale as of yet. I'm going to give you a healthcare example. So let's say a person got into a car accident, and they broke their leg, and they also had a heart attack. So whenever the doctor is going to treat by the level, like, they're going to prioritize all the ailments that a patient is facing at the moment. A broken ankle, a broken arm is an emergency, but a heart failure is something, it's something that really dictates whether having an arm or leg even matters. So yes, maybe cactus is something which affects our climate, but it's not something which is so urgent. And you have to really prioritize what is something worth solving now. And once you have the bigger things resolved, that's perhaps when you can move towards the other things. Okay, I asked a question. Okay, so I said if there is someone who would like to do this exercise with me in real time. For some reason, all right, someone.
I'd like to.
All right, so think of a problem, any problem that perhaps you're facing or you've seen. Oh, actually, have you built something, or have you come up with an idea as of yet?
I have come up with a few ideas, but I have not started building anything yet.
All right, so maybe you could share an idea or any problem that you face or you've seen people facing.
Okay, so one problem I think could be people. Okay, the underqualified or uneducated people. It's difficult for them to find jobs, which leads to poverty and it leads to social problems. So I'm thinking of a solution to this where people who are underqualified or undereducated, they can find jobs like manual labor jobs and stuff like that. Because because there is LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is for more professional,
Yeah.
more corporate jobs. But maybe there should be something like LinkedIn for jobs which underqualified people can use, like driving jobs or construction labor or manual labor type of jobs can be offered on that platform.
Yeah. So what I'm getting is that you're saying that people from lower socioeconomic classes deserve better jobs and they don't have access to better jobs. So
basically
actually
job access.
yeah. So what you said was actually quite elaborate in and of itself. But so let's say the symptom is a symptom in this problem that you've described is that people don't have the people from lower socioeconomic classes. Okay, again, we can reframe it in such a way. We can say that Pakistan has a higher percentage of people in poverty, right? That is actually the symptom that you're solving with this problem. So then you ask yourself, oh, why is that? Well, because most of the people are doing jobs below minimum wage. Okay, well, why is that? Well, because they don't have access to better education. Oh, why is that? Well, because why is that, guys? If anyone could maybe Uridullah, why do you think that is?
Maybe a lack of a good quality education in rural areas or in villages. Government education is not very good quality, maybe.
Yes. So now we have come to the root problem, which is that they have no choice but to work minimum wage jobs, and also because the government school education does not equip them with skills where they could find themselves a high paying career. So how do you plan on solving it? What do you think is a way that you could solve this issue through building an AI powered product?
I think an app that is kind of like LinkedIn, kind of inspired by it, but maybe in which employers can offer jobs that would be suitable for this target market or lower status economic class or whatever.
Right, great. So I actually came up with two solutions. So you can either provide people with lower socioeconomic classes jobs tailored to the skills that they already have. So I don't know how many guys have heard about Al Khidmat Foundation, but they have this skill to employment program for women where um, the tailors, like the women tailors, they can actually stitch clothes and they can sell for a living and they're paying them well. So they have outside funding and all that stuff. So it's a platform yes, you can share your idea.
Okay, so my idea is of building an application powered by AI. Basically, it detects the fake medicine. As fake medicine problem is a measure global precise, the WHO estimated that roughly around 1 in 10 products of medical pharmacy are fake. This problem is increasing in Pakistan day by day, and people face many health problems due to this problem. So I am building a software or application where you can put the image of your product or medicine, whatever it is. It will detect the QR code of it and product overall, and it will tell you whether it is fake or not.
Yeah,
And there
that's
are
such a great
and
idea.
and I'm also going to add multiple features in that application, like uh, doctors will make their profile on that application, like it will give a service. Doctors will provide this service, and as patient, if I am going on that application, I can book appointment with any of the doctor I want, and I can also test my medicine over there whether it is fake or not.
Yeah. So again, this is something like both Aridul and Mudassir have shared problems that would actually impact people and which are like way more urgent than saving cactus in the Sahara Desert. So I mean, I love Mudassir's idea as well. It is a little complicated in the sense that, for example, if you're presenting it to a panel or a jury, you have to, again, as I said, you have to overthink a lot. You have to think of your user experience, navigation, AI ethics, and all of that. So healthcare becomes a little tricky in it. But like I also build my product surrounding healthcare, so if you invest your time in it, you can definitely become real. And it just reminded me of this other, like I was reading about this. So in the Europe and the US, is my internet doing okay?
No, it's lagging.
Oh, it's lagging. Wait a second. I actually don't know which network to use at this point. Just wait a second. I think it's better now. Is it?
Yes, it's working.
All right. So, yeah, I was reading about this other. Yeah, I was saying that in the Europe and the US, it's really hard to find halal meat. And even if you find the halal meat, their regulations and policies do not align with what actually, is mentioned in the Islamic guidelines. So someone was also like, there is someone who's actually building this product right now where you can scan a QR code and you can learn about like who was the butcher and what was their process. So I, like it's in the poultry industry, but it's really similar to what Mudassir's ideas, which is like validating whether the product that you're using is made the right way or not. And coming back to Uridullah's concept, so I was saying that you can either build a product which centers around the skills that these people already have, and the other idea that you could come up with is finding people who could, there's so many people in this world who are willing to volunteer their time, so you could find them and you can connect them with people in these lower socioeconomic classes. And maybe then you could also think about how to make it even more realistic, whether you could have some outside funding, and like the mechanics of it, you could actually figure it out. And I'm sure there must be products like that working somewhere in the world right now. But again, if you have to make it more nuanced and specific as you go. And I'll share how to do that. But thank you very much, Uridullah and Mudassir. I really like listening to your ideas. Now, okay. Okay, so these were like some free resources that I used during my time. And again, you guys can find even better ones on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that if you wanna find, that's actually pretty much it for my session today, and I'm gonna show you like how Figma Make works. But before that, I just wanted to share that you guys could actually, like, how many people here know about Google Scholar? I also asked this question in my last session that I had. And with Mudassir, you were writing a research paper, so you would know about it. Yes, it is where professors publish their research papers. So there are so many databases online. But again, this is the part where I advise against using AI because, if you ask AI, okay, what are the biggest problems in education right now? It's going to give you a very generic answer unless you prompt again and again and again. And even then, it's really hard to validate whatever AI has given you is really true or not. And which is the reason why, like, even in this Asian time, people are going over Google Scholar and, all these other databases. You have, like the World Bank, they have their own website where you can find actual validated papers on what are the actual issues the world is facing right now. So the best thing that you can do, and the same thing that I did, was read research papers that are centered around your target audience. So let's take Uridullah's example. Uridullah said that he wants to solve education for lower socioeconomic people in Pakistan. So the themes that you can study on your own is you can go over to any of these databases and you can read about people from socioeconomic classes in general, from lower socioeconomic classes in general, what are their issues, and what a general day in their life looks like. And then maybe you could find a research paper that studies the relationship between lower socioeconomic class employment, lower socioeconomic class education, and then the relationship with their quality of life, their quality of health. And you don't have to like read all of it, but if you just scan through the abstract or the literature review, you could sense whether it is something that you want to read in detail or not. And that's also, once you're doing this thing, you would also get to know about where to make the necessary iterations. And if I talk about one of our fellows in the previous Teens and I cohort, I remember they had a completely different idea, and they just switched it up last minute. Like their target audience was women in rural areas of Pakistan, and they switched the entire problem that they were solving. So, and it happens when you actually read the stuff, and you can find more innovative connections. So it's okay to pivot if you find something which is more urgent, like I said, which is more urgent than planting cactus in the Sahara Desert. So if you find something better, go for it. And again, one last thing that I wanted to show you guys is how easy making things on Figma is. I'm such a big fan of Figma. I've been talking about it since the last year. Ever since I've been here in Mindworks, I talk about Figma again and again. But so this is like when you open Figma, this is your interface that you see. And if you go over here, this is their like new AI feature. It's called Figma Make. And you go over here and it looks just like, ChatGPT or Codex. And you can upload any reference images that you have. As I said, it's going to help you with the early process of building your prototype. And it actually takes a little while in making this stuff. So I just did it beforehand. And also because I knew I'm from Lahore, and the weather is so bad, so the internet is glitching. But this is, and as I said, you guys should not be making just a generic calorie tracking app or like a fitness app, which everyone in the world has already built. So you guys have to find connections and like find the gray areas that are actually worth pursuing. But so this is a very, like, the prompt was so simple. I didn't even use the entire prompting structure that I mentioned in the presentation. But even if you just write a one-liner, Figma is going to make something that you could at least begin with. And again, this is, so if you guys were not like very clear with what a wireframe is, what you have right now on the screen, this is a wireframe. And then, but as I click on it, you will see that it is interactive. So I mean, it is a working prototype, but let's say if it were just static and if I could not navigate through the different tabs, it would have been termed as a wireframe. And then you can continue, you can click, and you can see, and it's just so simple and easy to use. And I don't have the paid version right now, but as I said, it doesn't even cost that much. But if you go over, like, you could actually copy this into your actual Figma interface, and then you can make manual changes. But that's all I had for the session today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, guys, please make most of the session and ask questions. It is the Q&A time. I had an amazing time hearing Ira. So let's see what questions do others have.
When do we have to pitch our idea? I think this is a question directed towards Harima or Muspira. More sessions then. Few more sessions then. Yes, guys, actually this is so the tools that I've mentioned are the ones which are like the best ones. And if you're going towards the free route, that's the reason why I mentioned that you should build your earlier versions of the product using ChatGPT or ChatGPT or Google Stitch, because they don't require as much tokens. And once you're done with that, you can shift over to Claude. So like you can get all of this done for free. And as far as Figma is concerned, I built my entire prototype on Figma, and they didn't even have the AI feature at that point in time. So like if you know how to use Scanner, which I know almost all of us do, you can figure the Figma interface pretty quickly. You just need to watch one tutorial on YouTube and you're good to go. All right, I think then this brings us. Yes, you can definitely do that. I was also trying to figure out, I wanted to show you guys the entire setup, but once I was doing it, I realized like it would not be of much value to you guys. So if you could just, there is literally like 15-minute tutorials on YouTube, and it's so easy. So you can definitely connect Claude with Figma, and then you can make the changes there. It has Claude Coder. It has a limit of free. Yes, Claude Design is actually Chat. Okay, I mixed it up. Codex has a ton of free tokens over there, but Claude Design is paid. But even if you don't want to go towards the paid route, yeah.
Meanwhile, participants share more of their questions in the chat box. Maybe you can share about your journey being the local round winner at the Teens in AI Hackathon. How was the process, and how did you came up with your idea? How did you pitch it, and what made you separate from other participants?
Okay, I was asking people for questions, but Harima just twisted it and asked me. But the thing is that I feel like I have mentioned a lot about my journey, like during the presentation as well. Like I just signed up for Teens and I because I thought it was cool. I like to do cool things. If I see cool people somewhere, I just sign up. But I liked the way I came up with my idea was just a random thought. I'm actually just a very curious person. And I was just thinking like, oh, okay, like menstrual tracking app. I've never seen one for blind women. How does that happen? I think it had to do something perhaps I was studying in school about any of this, and that was just how I was able to make the connections. Um, but yeah, that's how I came up with it. And for the pitch, like I had such a bad team coordination. If Musfra is here, she knows I'm always yapping about it. But all my teammates, like this is guys, I'm just being like really candid right now. So anyone who wants to hear like my trauma dumps, they can stay, and otherwise they can go. But the thing is, yes, sorry guys, I'm back. It actually reminds me of the same thing that happened when Harima was the participant and my internet kept disconnecting. And I was trying to switch, and I'm constantly switching. I have built my website. Your website is about the pharmacy thing that you mentioned. Of course, you can share. I would love to see. That's what I'm here for. Mudassir is like 10 steps ahead of everyone here.
Just so you are co-host now, if you want to share your screen, that would be great as well.
Yeah, if you could share his screen, we all could have experience it together.
Can you guys hear me? Hello.
It's loading right now. Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so this is the website about my agency, Nexus AI Systems. I have built AI voice calling agent, which is called Jordan, which provides a customer service help for my agency. It is a live agent. You can talk to this. It doesn't require any credit or something. It is for free for the user, but I need to pay for the credits. And here I have listed all my services which we provide in my agency. AI calling agents, chatbot receptionist, custom AI solutions, and my short portfolio about founder. And get in touch where I have added two boxes of email and Insta and header of this. You guys can try this Jordan AI calling agent by clicking on the link I have shared in the chat box, and you can try this for free.
Okay, like I'm just so impressed that you already have things down. You said that you shared the link in chat. I'm
Yes,
probably
yes,
gonna copy
it's
paste the link and
yeah.
go over it or detail में अलग से. So even if, as I have mentioned countless times, that I am a very non-tech person, but I think my internet is glitching again.
Before we lost Ira once again, I want everybody to please open their cameras and let's just take a picture.
By the way, I'm back, Muspra, and I heard I heard what you were saying. All right.
So 1, 2, 3. One more. All right, I think we are done with that. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy it. And it was wonderful. Thank you, Ira, once again. And
Thank you so
thank
much
you for
for
sharing.
inviting me again.
Thank you for sharing such a cool ideas, Figma and everything. I'm sure it will benefit everybody. And I want everybody now to start working on their ideas, start brainstorming what you guys want to work, how you guys want to build everything. And if there any question, I'm sure you guys are feel free to ask in the group, and I'll forward it to Ira as well if you have something special for her. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Harima. Thank you so much, Mudassir, Uridullah, and everybody who was here, who joined us and shared their ideas. We'll get back to you with the new session very soon. And yeah, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.